everyone. Thank you and welcome to Corporate Services Committee of January 18th. It's supposed to be at 11, but we're almost 1 o'clock. Members who are eligible to participate on a voting matter in this committee are myself, Kevin O'Toole, Councillor Blackmore, and Mayor Clayton. So I will call this meeting to order, and then I'm also looking for any delegations, and I don't think we have any delegations. So I'll move directly to Brian Glavin. I gave you a promotion. Wow. Oh, sorry. Oh, I feel shame now. I might need a moment. I have a moment of shame. Just the way he came in here and panicked as he sit down, I thought for sure he had something important that he wanted to say. But we'll go with Director Kinza Trim. For a guy who's got to get out of here, yeah.
Thank you, Chair Laners. So I'll try to keep it brief for you. In assessment and taxation, taxation continues to work with the property owners who had NSF issues in regards to the December 31st double payment for tips. The prompt response of both our administration and our banking partner ensured all payments were returned to property owners' bank accounts on the same day. To date, the number of NSFs have been in alignment with typical volumes, so we had a total of 19 for December. And the tax department has reached out to those 19 property owners and will be working with them to ensure that their tax account is correct. As previously noted as well, we'll also be offsetting any NSF fees that property owners have incurred due to this error. Our finance team have escalated to our banking partners VP of Treasury Solutions this item, but we have not yet received a formal response in this regard. The new tax payment amounts for 2022 have been determined, and letters indicating new payment amounts for tips have been mailed out. A reminder to council and property owners that these are only estimated amounts. We will not know the final tax impact until the mill rates are determined in May. Our assessors are finalizing assessments on some of our new projects, and we expect assessment notices to be mailed to property owners soon. Once assessment notices are mailed, that starts our inquiry period for property owners to discuss their assessments. In procurement, we're working with departments to schedule bid requirements, prioritizing as needed for 2022. As a wrap-up for 2021, we had processed 162 awards, totaling a value of $38.8 million. 69% of those awards were within a 100-kilometer radius of Grande Prairie. In GIS and IT, we're working through a number of upgrades on some of our software solutions. So an upgrade to CityView, which is our enterprise system for permits and inspection solutions, has begun. The UKG Dimensions, which is a scheduling software for staff, preliminary project kickoff for the upgrade to a cloud solution there has been scheduled. Our legacy asset management system, Hansen, has been decommissioned, and we're moving to maintenance connection, all of our assets. And our launch week to kick off the enterprise resource planning system implementation is scheduled for the week of January 31st. The 2022 partnership orthophoto project RFP that we're partnering with the county on has now been posted as well. In strategic initiatives, our contact center is seeing an increase in the citizen portal usage. As of last check, we're at about 7% of our calls are coming through the portal. So far this month, we've handled 2,700 cases, and we are encouraging all citizens to utilize the citizen portal at access.cityofgp.com as it supports the tracking and routing of service requests. And with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you for that. Director Trim, any questions of Director Trim? Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Lerners. Director Trim, you mentioned that the numbers are normal of in regards to the NSF that we had prior to this banking error. I'm just curious, have we been either verbally or written, had contact with every single person impacted now?
Yes, that is correct. The letter has gone out to every single person that was impacted, requesting that they contact us if we had not yet talked to them in person, and that they provide us with any details in relation to NSF fees or otherwise that they incurred.
Perfect. Thank you for that. I did have another question if no one else does.
Go ahead.
Thanks. And now that I actually asked this question, I realize it's not in your department right anymore. So I had a question in regards to communications and marketing. So just take it for what it is, because I know it's not your department anymore. I was curious about, I don't see anywhere on the website, and I don't see an external marketing or communications, that we have a place where people can go to learn about community events, details that may change due to weather, details that may change, as events are sort of living, breathing items. And I feel that our website is good in regards to sharing news, media releases, factual data, but it's not as nimble in regards to items such as the Grand North Winterfest we just had. I had multiple people on multiple occasions private messaging me, texting me, looking for a schedule of events, and updated schedule, because with weather and COVID, et cetera, it changed on a regular basis. So I'm wondering if you could do me a favor and possibly have communications department, marketing department, update council on, what the where the best place to send people is, and if there's not a sort of centralized event calendar, then I would like to see one. And I don't know if other councillor members or committee members have interest in that. I feel our website is a very good factual place to send people, but it's not nimble and it's not responsive to events. And whether this means, working with GPRTA or whatever that looks like, the city hosts and runs a lot of great events. And when our events change on a regular basis, there needs to be a consistent place we can send people. So I just wonder if maybe you could get that to the appropriate person and maybe just ask for an update when appropriate. And it can be through email, is fine.
Through the chair, yes, this actually did come to our attention prior. So just for clarification, on the city's website under Culture and Community and News and Events, there is an event calendar there. However, we have done some reviews internally and starting to look at, are there adaptations to processes maybe that might meet the intent that you're looking to capture. So I can ask Marketing and Communications to report back on that for sure.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Bosch.
Thank you, Councillor Leinert. I agree with Mayor Clayton. I had the same thing this weekend as well, with several calls or texts in regards to what's current. It might be as simple as a link to a Facebook page that's updated regularly. People are used to that, or Instagram. I have also had several complaints about the public struggling to speak to somebody at the city. They're finding that either nobody knows who these people are that they should talk to, or that there's just isn't a call back, or they just can't seem to reach someone. It feels like when you're calling I won't say their names, but big companies, and you just get kind of a robotic system that takes you nowhere. So it's frustrating, and I don't know if you've noticed a level of complaints that has increased, and it just seems to be people were quite patient when the pandemic hit, but they're getting less and less patient of not being able to reach someone.
Yeah, I would say we haven't seen a significant increase in complaints come through, but we do take all of those seriously. So if there are specifics around any of those, then please be sure to forward them on, and we'll make sure they're addressed. We do receive, like I said, complaints and feedback from time to time, and we do take every effort that we can to rectify those challenges as they present themselves.
I will talk to you about the examples. Thanks.
So if we have any other questions of Director Trim, something that's in her bailiwick? Seeing none, thank you very much for your report. Next we have Ms. Karbershusky. Oh my gosh, with a name like that, she must have been just exhausted from Ukrainian Christmas and New Year's. But if she has time, maybe you can lead us through Bylaw C-11299D, amendment to the procedure bylaw.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Lenners. This is Arlene Karbashowski reporting live from the third floor of City Hall. Back in December of last year, committee directed administration to bring forward amendments to the procedure bylaw to allow for the remote attendance options to include in-camera sessions and to increase the maximum number of meetings allowed for council to attend via remote access to be changed from the 4 that are currently in the bylaw to 6. So the proposed bylaw amendment before you today does remove the exceptions regarding in-camera sessions to allow for remote attendance. It also includes some additional provisions to put some further control measures in place that mitigate risks of an unintentional disclosure of confidential information during an in-camera session that may be attended remotely. So those conditions are contained within the report in front of you, as well as specifically, this is referring to the new Section 4 of the Schedule C bylaw amendment in front of you. And with that, administration recommends that council give 3 readings to the proposed bylaw amendment, and I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Any questions of Ms. Karbashewski? Councillor O'Toole?
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for updating this policy. I think that it's well due. This is the 21st century, almost 22nd, I guess, and technology is changing the way people do things, and this will just support council in many different ways. So thank you.
Yes, Councillor Bosch.
I just have a quick question here. When you're talking about the use of speakerphone, including hands-free options in a personal vehicle, is strictly prohibited, I get that when you're driving. But if you're parked and attending a meeting, because that has happened, I don't know, multitude of times where I'm on Zoom meetings or other meetings where somebody is stationary and is attending the meeting. Is that the intent of this, strictly outside a vehicle? Or is it just the common sense part?
Thank you, through the chair. This is specific to in-camera sessions only, so using hands-free inside a vehicle for the purpose of attending a public meeting is not prohibited. Using hands-free inside a vehicle allows members of the public on the outside of the vehicle to hear the conversation. So this is just specifically restricting in-camera sessions from being held on a hands-free style speaker that would allow uninvited guests to hear the private and confidential discussion.
Okay, thank you.
So I interpret from that if I was in my car and I was able to put headphones onto my phone, then that would be okay? Just so I'm clear?
Thank you, Chair Lenners. That is absolutely the intent. You're correct.
Thank you. Any other? Oh, there it is. Councillor Bressey.
Great. Thank you. I'm wondering what is in 4C. It talks about any personal devices used need to be registered, which isn't really something we do right now. So what's entailed in registering? Is it just letting legislative services know what's there? Is it putting software on the phones? What's that mean by being registered?
Thank you. Through the chair, the intent of registering your device with legislative services is just to give us a fair account or a description of the devices being used to ensure that if, in fact, a request comes through our office for information through FOIP, that we know which devices are required to be investigated.
Great, thank you. And then one more, if I may, Mr. And I just assume that that speakerphone prohibition would include, usually on Zoom, you're just on your computer with your computer speakers, but I'd assume that for in-camera settings, these rules would require us to have earbuds even when we're using a computer?
Thank you. Through the chair. In a remote location, that is the preferred method of attending the in-camera session. You're correct.
Excellent, thank you. Well, all right. So then that's actually good. That's actually what I'm trying to figure out, because I think that should be the required thing. So that's what I'm trying to understand, what the use of speakerphone technology means. Does that only apply to you need headphones when you're on an actual phone, or would you need headphones when you're on a laptop?
Thank you. Through the chair. So the use of headphones or earbuds is mandatory, which means during an in-camera session, in a remote access location, to prevent uninvited guests from hearing the discussion, you must use headphones or earbuds with your device.
Great, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Blackmore.
I just have one question that relates back to taking Zoom calls on cell phones. So conversations that you have on your cell phones can be picked up by scanners. So I'm wondering, I'm assuming that Zoom is encrypted, but I'm not certain of this. Do you know the answer to that?
Thank you. Through the chair. Zoom, as a remote access platform, does have its own security measures in place. Also, for the City of Grande Prairie, if you are to use your devices provided by the city also has security mechanisms in place.
Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, if there's no more questions, I'm ready to make the motion, if that's okay.
Go for that.
Okay, I move the committee recommend council give 3 readings to bylaw C-1299D, being an amendment to the procedure bylaw.
That's in order. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the motion. And that is carried unanimously. Okay, so next we have correspondence. We don't have any of those. Any other business? Got none of that. Bylaw policy review, not seeing any for that. Outstanding items list. I don't know if we... Oh, just the one. Kinza. Kinza. Please go ahead, Director Trim.
Yes, we still have item 1171 as a procedure bylaw amendment that was just discussed by committee as an outstanding item on the list. No other additions.
Okay. You get a motion to accept that? Councillor O'Toole.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the outstanding items list with the amendments. Yeah, but it's still on the list. We're going to take it off. I'm telling you how it's got.
Yeah, okay, so that's... Yeah, we should have... And that is approved unanimously. And I think that takes us to the end, so I will adjourn the meeting, and we'll take a 5-minute break. Good. Okay, thank you. Who's the next?